The French president admits he made mistakes at every stage of the pandemic in a televised address to the nation. Emmanuel Macron announced a third nationwide lockdown as COVID cases soar. Intensive care beds, they're filling up. The country's death toll is near to 100,000. He said the situation left him with no other choice.
Je sais qu'à chaque étape de cette épidémie,
I know that at every stage of this epidemic, we might say to ourselves that we could have done better, that we made mistakes. All this is true. We all need to make an additional effort over the coming months. This is what I ask of us collectively tonight.
The new lockdown measures will be extended from 19 areas to all of mainland France from Saturday. This means a nationwide curfew beginning at 7 p.m. will be imposed and travel between regions will be banned. The French president also said schools will be closed for at least 3 weeks, and he announced additional policing to ensure no more than 6 people can gather at once. Well, the measures introduced by the president come as a complete U-turn to his previous decision not to lock down in January. As a result, he's receiving mounting criticism from scientists and hospital chiefs.
I say to the government, do it now. Do it now. Do it for a shorter time, but do it. We were right not to implement a lockdown in France at the end of January because we didn't have the explosion of cases that every model predicted.
France's president is, without doubt, an educated man. Emmanuel Macron flew through the country's top institutions before making a mark in both the private and the public sector. He then became France's youngest ever president. I mean, it's a pretty impressive resume. And he portrayed himself as a man who knew when to take advice.
It is important at this time, by following the advice of scientists as we've just done, to ensure the continuity of our democratic life and our institutions.
But now it seems being top dog isn't quite enough. Macron has thrown himself into an entirely new discipline.
The president has acquired real expertise in health issues. It is not an inaccessible subject for an intelligent person like him, considering the important time he has dedicated to it for several months.
Macron's aides have even confidently declared that he's become an epidemiologist despite not having a scientific background. These claims over Macron's expertise on health issues have also rubbed experts up the wrong way.
Mr. Macron is President of the Republic, and in the framework of the pandemic, just like all heads of state, he has become interested in epidemiological data. He has to put his nose to the grindstone. He is obliged to take notice of trends, but that doesn't make him an epidemiologist, of course. For all those that talk about epidemiology, and among them we can find heads of states like President Macron, who talks about epidemiology, just like we talk about politics, like we talk about sculpture or about music, but they are not necessarily sculpture artists or musicians.